Joe and China, I know you guys got those cute Polk systems, but my philosophy has always been go big or go home.
Hey, Chana.
Yo, what's up?
You see what Michael got?
No, what do you get?
Dude, he got a whole Polk Reserve, the big boys.
What? You got the whole thing?
The big boys. He knows what he did.
He probably got it for dirt cheap, too. He got a Youthman deal, didn't he?
Hey, Michael, what's up, man? So how do those sound?
Man, these speakers sound phenomenal. I've got them all set up in my dedicated theater room, and they absolutely rock.
Damn, man, I gotta say, I'm kind of jealous.
You can't say that in an ad.
If you want to learn more about Polk's brand new Reserve line, check the links down in the description.
Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Youthman. In my last video, we began installing some GIK acoustic panels. Now, previously, I had 5 DIY acoustic panels, and I swapped those out with 5 GIK panels, and then over the weekend, I began to install the rest of them. And so currently, I have 2 panels on this right wall over here. Right behind that is a large curtain, so that has some absorption material there. Then on this wall, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 panels. So these are basically about 2 foot by 4 foot panels. And then right back here, you can see I've got several pretty much 2 foot by 2 foot panels. The panels on the side walls are 4 inches thick. The panels in the rear wall are 6 inches thick. Now these are from their Impression series. So basically they have a wooden baffle on the front with some slots in it. Now you can get a bunch of different patterns for the design of them, whether it's horizontal patterns, you can get vertical patterns. You can check out the previous video. I talked about what options they offer there. But as you can see on this back wall, these are a little bit different shapes. So they're just regular square versus these on the side wall are kind of pretty much rectangular shape. They're a lot taller. So in the back, I opted for some square ones instead of rectangular ones, just because I've got some really, it's kind of an interesting wall back there. There's so much that's kind of in the way, honestly. I've got, you know, the projector window. I've got a double door that, you know, when you come into the theater room, so that's there. I can't put acoustic panels. There's also a light switch down behind the seats. And then because of the depth of my room is 13 feet wide by 19 foot deep. And my front cabinet's about 4 feet thick. So that really only gives me about 15 feet of usable floor space in my theater room. And so that rear row of seats is pretty much right up against the wall. There's some, you know, I mean, maybe there's 3 or 4 inches back there, but I don't have the room to be able to slide them forward to be able to mount acoustic panels kind of right there, which is where I had originally thought I'd put a couple here, maybe one here or one here. So I tried like a bunch of different things. I even went into Photoshop because these are pretty heavy. So I went into Photoshop and we had 1 or 2 installed, and so I copied those and we played around and just kind of looking at the design of it and how we wanted that to look. And what we ended up right now is we've got 2 panels here, and then we've got 2 panels right here. I thought about putting a 5th panel. You may not be able to see it right here. Maybe I'll throw an image up here of the wall so you can kind of see what my options are. But no matter what we did back there, it was kind of hard to figure out, all right, what is going to look symmetrical? Because my brain, I like symmetry. Like these are all 2 feet spaced apart. But then right here, I couldn't put it 2 feet apart because then it would put it like all the way up against the back wall, and that looked weird. So in my brain, I want to try to make sure that it's appealing. You know, there's some symmetry there. But these, I just had to kind of go with what I felt was best. And I really like the way that it's turned out. Just some initial thoughts on these. I haven't had a lot of time listening to content. I did a little bit more today with them, but I definitely want to spend some time with them. Of course, I need to rerun Odyssey. I need to, I'm going to even probably go back into the mini DSP and kind of even just recalibrate that and just get my system really dialed in. So I'm excited to do that and really just see kind of, now that I've got more acoustic treatment in the room, especially with this back wall, it just had just a solid wall. And so I know the sound coming from my front sound stage is hitting that back wall and then coming right back to the front sound stage. And I don't have any treatment inside my wall, so I'm sure that there was a lot of sound just kind of bouncing back and forth between the front wall and the back wall. So hopefully these rear ones will absorb a lot of that. Of course, some of the sound will get reflected because these are combo panels, so they've got that hard surface, but then there's also, waves from the sound. The sound waves can go through some of the panel and be absorbed into that as well. But like I said, so far I'm really excited. I love the way they look. One thing that I've noticed is when I'm watching a movie, and here's a prime example. You can see I've got a big light right here. And so that light right above me is casting a really harsh reflection right back here. Now, granted, my projector is firing straight against my screen up here, but then some of that light is being reflected to these front side, what are considered your first reflection point. They're definitely picking up some light from the projector, and so I need to think through that on, do I take the wooden panels off of those front ones and let those just be absorption and not combo panels? Do I leave them as combo panels and maybe try to put some fabric over the panels so that, there's no light reflection there? Because it is a little distracting when I'm watching a movie. I was doing some demos earlier today and my eyes can see that reflection. Definitely nothing like that, but you can kind of see right here, that's probably more representative of what my eyes see. So there's part of it that just kind of, it takes it away from the screen, your visual. These a little bit, the second one, definitely not near as bad, but that first one, definitely they're kind of on the distracting side. So I may have to think that through on what's the best method there, but definitely I need panels there because, like I said, that's the first reflection point. You want to try to absorb a lot of that sound from your main speakers. But overall, man, I really like these. I definitely love the appeal. My son came over this weekend and he walked by the theater room to go to my daughter's room and he looked in, he's like, "Dad, those look cool, man." And so he popped in here and looked at them. We talked about them. And so he definitely really liked the way that they look. You can kind of see on, where is it? Probably like right here. You can see part of the wood, and so you've got this nice contrast. So I've got gray walls, black acoustic panels, but because there's that cutout with the wood, it gives us this nice, it just gives it definition. And so I really like that, and like I said, just the style of it. So definitely very pleased with these. These are really, really cool. So I'm excited to really just spend some time now just listening. Dialing in my system, recalibrating, using Odyssey, and like I said, making some tweaks probably in Mini DSP. I'll have to check with GIK to see what frequencies do these really kind of target. And I believe they're definitely not like bass traps, so they're not going to do a lot probably to my low end. It's probably more so like mid-range, upper frequencies is probably their range. These being thicker back here at 6 inches, maybe they absorb some of the bass. But when you get into, my subwoofers are flat down to like 5 hertz, no lie. So these aren't going to do anything really to tame any of that. So I may need to look at some kind of bass traps eventually down the road. But overall, man, I love it. My room a long time ago had a slap echo. And I thought when I removed my previous DIY panels, I was even going to do a clap test. And when I clapped, I really didn't have that reverberation that I used to have a long time ago. And I started thinking through, so back when I built my theater room 15 years ago, this room definitely was a lot different. I had a completely different front screen. It was much smaller, a lot more wood and hard surfaces. So that was probably adding a lot of reflection. Also on the side wall over here on the side, there's a big double sliding glass door, and that I had a really thin kind of red curtain. So I'm sure that sound was bouncing off that glass wall, reflecting back into the room. But I've since added really thick curtains over there. And then there's a long window up here that's been boarded up to prevent any light from coming in, as well as those same thick curtains. And so when I did the clap test, I didn't have that slap echo that I used to a long time ago. So I don't think that that replacing my DIY ones with these panels, just the 5 panels, honestly, I don't think there's going to be that much difference. I did take some measurements, so I'm going to pass that over to GIK and kind of help them to analyze that. You know, what does this tell us about the acoustic panels? What's it doing to my room? That's an area that's new to me. So as I learn that, I want to share a future video with you guys to kind of show you what do acoustic panels do to a room. Did it improve the sound? Did it improve the mid-range? Did it improve the higher end? I don't know. As far as, you know, the graphs, what they tell us, hopefully we can look at the things called like waterfall graphs, and that tells us how long certain frequencies are kind of reverberating in your room and when they decay and when they kind of, you know, get absorbed into the room itself, which would be your acoustic panels. So I'm excited to kind of learn that and then share what I learned with you guys. So all I know is that acoustic treatment, like when you walk from my living room into this room, it's night and day. Whether it's DIY, whether it's GIK or even another brand, you know when you're in a room that's been treated because it's a different vibe. The sound doesn't echo. The sound is very contained. And it makes it easier to, when you're having a conversation in here versus a conversation in my living room, it's a big difference. When we get a crowd out there, like we've got family over, it makes it really difficult when a bunch of people are talking at the same time and sound is bouncing all around the room. It makes it unintelligible. It's hard to understand. When you do that in here, no problems at all. And again, it's because that is helping with the dialogue because you don't have all this sound bouncing off of all your hard surfaces. And so hopefully I'll be able to make some future videos on acoustic treatment and kind of what I learned through this process. And again, I've got some measurements that I'm going to be sending to GIK and let them kind of analyze it and tell me, you know, what do they see in my room. They may see that I've got even still some issues with certain frequencies, and maybe they've got some solutions. So again, I just want to invite you along my journey. That's a lot of what I do here on my channel. I don't pretend to be the expert. I'm like you guys. I'm just excited and passionate about home theater and audio and video. And as I journey along my home theater, you know, process and building and upgrading and learning how to do different things, I just want to share that experience with you guys. And so I'll post a link to the original video up here, and then once I hear back from GIK, then like I said, I'll make a future video, and then once I spend some more time with the system, get it dialed in, I'll just kind of let you know what I think about where my room is at now with the new panels. And so I'm excited about that. So make sure you subscribe to the channel. I've got some future videos planned, not only on GIK, but other ones, some new products that are coming in for review. So I'm sure you'll be excited about that when I'm able to post that and talk about it. Even some new products that I'm pretty much under embargo and I can't talk about just yet. So guys, hope you have an incredible week. God bless you, and we'll catch you in the next video.